So in this video we won't be creating any Python project. Actually, we'll be creating a basic dynamic website. For the front end we'll be using HTML, of course, and for styling we'll be using CSS and Bootstrap. For the backend we have used PHP and WAMP server for the connections. Now, honestly speaking, I haven't invested much of my efforts in creating a very attractive looking website because I just want you to have an idea how a website works. So my backend is flawless, but the front end is not that attractive. So let's have a look that how this website will work. We'll be creating a sample website which will contain a home page, an about page, a sign in page from where you can create a profile for this website, a login page from where you can log in to your profile or your account. So let me access my account. Now this is your profile page. We have three options here. First one is your online gamers, from where you can see how many of your friends are online. Your second option is public chat, from where you can post your problems straight away and every user of this website can see your question and they can answer them. And the third option is log out. From here you can log out from your account. Okay, so let's get started with this section in which we'll be creating our first two web pages, that is our home page and our about page. So let's open our Atom editor and start creating them. So we'll move step by step. First of all, we'll add our HTML code or our HTML line for the basic website, and then we'll make it more impressive with the Bootstrap and CSS. Now our next task is to add the Bootstrap navigation page, then links to various web pages, and then your background picture. Let's do this. We open the Bootstrap official website. is your Bootstrap official website, Get Bootstrap. So, first of all, what you have to do is copy and paste these two links on your web page or your HTML page if you want to use Bootstrap online. And if you want to install Bootstrap on your system, you can go through this installation uh, page and see how you can install this. But I'm using the online one, so let me. So we have successfully added the Bootstrap CDN to our HTML page. Now we are ready to use the pre-written codes which will make our website more attractive. So documentation here, then uh, components. From here you can see you want to use nav bars. There are many nav bars present here, but for nav bar like this I can use this one here. Let's create a about page. Our home page is perfect and our about page is also perfect. Okay, so let's get started with this section in which we'll be creating the front end of our sign up page. In the next video, we'll connect this front end to our PHP backend. So let's come to our Atom editor and create a new file here. So what else we want is this form, right? So now let's add this background picture here. And there you can see. But as you can see, our labels were black in color, so they are not visible here. So for adding that style or to look like this, we'll be using CSS. And here you can see accurate. Now the last thing to do is to interconnect these three web pages. Okay, so let's get started with this section in which we are gonna connect our front end with our PHP backend. We are gonna use WAMP server for our connection. So So we have to make some changes here. Okay, so it looks very similar to this one. So now let's create our backend file or our PHP file. So as if now, I'm just considering that you have installed WAMP server on your system. So we'll go to our browser, type localhost here, and go to PHP my admin. There, we'll create a new database. Uh, let's say sample website. Yes, let's create. Name of the table will be same. sample website, so there is no confusion, and the number of so you can see we have a sample website database here. Click this one, and you can see the sample website table. So our database is created. Let's quickly jump to our editor, and actually I'll just copy paste the code so that it will save a bit of time, and the video is quite long, so I'll just copy paste. Okay, so if we are not able to establish the connection, then could not connect, error message here. If we are connected, then this will select the DB or our database, which will be sample website. Then we'll insert into the sample website table the uh, this will be the columns, and this will be the values which we get from our sign up form here. So you can see insert into sample website these columns and the values, and then if there is any problem in this insertion of value, then error in inserting the record, and if it's possible, else it's possible, then echo, or it will print into a new page saying that account created, and then click here to log in, and this will redirect you back to a login page which we'll create in our next video. So let us save this one, then go back page, and we have this sign up pages here. Login, Harshit, Roy, Harshit, Roy, let's say 123@gmail.com. My password is let's say 4321. Country is India. Obviously, this is not my phone number. Let it be anything random. Of course, I'm male. Check this out. Sign in. Oh, we have an actually, this is not an error. Let me see what the problem is. Yeah, actually, why will this work? We are not using a PHP, WAMP server here. Do one thing. Select this file actually. Select this folder. Copy this out. C drive. WAMP www, and then paste your folder here. Websites. Close this one. Go to the local host. Your folder is present here. Nope. About HTML. Go to the sign up page. Enter information here. I don't want to waste much time. There you go, and we have an error. So unexpected syntax we see at line number 14. We go to websites, sign up connect, open this. This should be a copy paste problem. So I have corrected this, and then let's go to the browser. Enter my information. Let it be random. Password is, let's say, 1234. Okay, let's sign in. There we go. Our account is created, and here's the link for the login PHP. You can see there it was coming, login PHP. And if we refresh our host, it will take a second. You can see one record is there. You see, so you can see, but it's empty. uh, Let me figure it out. What can be the problem? uh, Sorry guys, I have to interrupt the video because I was having some error in my code. You can see I have tried so many times, and step by step I got the success. So let me tell you what was the problem. This was your file, and the problem was with your form. The sign up connection was perfect. We were able to connect with our DB, but the form was not working perfectly, because first of all, here, after each ID parameter, we'll be having a name parameter, uh, which is the same. We have the variable here. So this was one problem, this name parameter here, and then this submit is the input here, and this is of the type submit. Name is equal to submit, value is sign in, and class is btn primary. So this was the only problem in the code, otherwise it was working perfectly. So actually yes, there was no error in my code except this one parameter missing of name, and then this sign in button. So let us see our final output here.
Okay, so let's get started with this section in which we'll be creating
A login page for a sample website which will resemble somewhat like this.
Okay, so let's get started with this section in which we'll be creating
the PHP backend for that login page. Let me create a new file here. Guys, in this video I'll just copy paste the code so that I can focus more on explaining the code. So this is the backend code. First I have to make some changes, so I'll make the changes as I move ahead explaining you the codes. So first we'll start the session, or we'll start our connection. Then we'll see if the email and the password is filled or not. If they are empty, then this error message will be displayed saying email or password is empty. Else, or when the email and password are entered or they are not empty, then this else loop or condition will run, which will save this email and password into a variable. Then we'll establish the connection. Now we'll remove some unnecessary characters like spaces. Then we'll connect to our database, which is for us is sample website. There we go with the connection. Then this query will be select star from the table sample website. Now we are selecting all the entities from the table where password is equal to password and email is equal to email here. This is right site, and then we'll save this into a variable here, rows. Now if rows is 1 or any password or any account is present here with this email and password, then rows will be 1 and this if condition will run and it will redirect you to the profile.php, which we'll create in our next video. And then the login user will be the email, which we'll be using in the next video to show that which user's profile is this. And if it's not there or this email or password is incorrect, then this else loop will run saying that email or password is invalid, and then the connection is closed. I hope all this is clear for you. If it's not clear, then you can write in the comment section. I'll be very happy to answer you guys. So we'll have to make some changes in our login.html also.
Okay, so let's get started with this section in which we'll be creating
a profile page onto which a user will land after he or she is logged in. So let's create a new file here. So what I'll do is I'll just copy paste my code which I have written previously so that I can save some time which I can use in explaining you what I have written. So first of all, we have to include a session file or a session PHP file which will tell our profile page or profile PHP page that this user is logged in, or the session PHP tracks that which user has logged in and then pass the details back to the profile.php. Like in our profile page, we'll simply just print or echo welcome and then the email ID of the user. So from where, well, we are gonna get this email ID. uh, this is where this profile uh, sorry session PHP is gonna be used. uh, it will track, or it will take account of which user is logged in and then provide this information to this profile.php. So we'll create it in just a minute. Now you are already familiar with these codes. This is the bootstrap link for the CSS, and this is your style sheet which we have created in our previous file. This is image, but I don't think we need it here. Okay, now this is your navigation bar. We have three options in our profile system. First is your public chat or the public forum in which you can post your questions and all users are free to comment or to answer your questions. Then we have your logout option from where you can log out to your from an account, and then we have the online gamers or the online users from where you can see how many of your friends are online. We'll be creating these three files in our uh, next three videos. So and then we'll have this heading one, and inside this heading one tag we have a PHP command here which will contain an echo, or it will print the login session, which is a PHP variable which we'll be assigning in our session.php. So this is the reason why we are creating this session.php, so that we can get this login session or this login user's detail. And now this is your bootstrap link. You're already familiar with this, so I guess there is no problem until here. Let me save this file and create a session file which will get to the track that which of the user is currently logged in. Session.php. Okay, copy paste, and there we go. Now first of all we have to establish the connection with our local host. Then the database name for us will be the sample website. The spelling correct, right? And then we have this sys SQL variable to select the email from the signup, where email is equal to user check. Now here user check we have extracted from our form or from our login page that which user is logged in, and then we search from here that which is the user, and then we save this fetched file or the searched sorry, not the file, the searched name or the email into a variable rows, and then we have this variable here, login session is equal to row email. Now we don't need this two lines here. Actually, this is the part of our online creation, online page system, so we don't need it here at this moment. And then from here you can see login session is equal to row email. From this row we are selecting the email column or the email of the user which has just logged in. Now this should not be index1.php for us. Login.php, is this PHP? Right. So this is login.php, or we are getting this form detail or this email detail from a login.php. So this is it, I guess. Let me save this, go to my browser, this login option. First let me see that what is the email and the ID from my database. Sample website is the name of our database. The table name is also sample website. Now I have chosen this convection so that it's not confusing and you don't make mistakes, and my main motive was to make the video simple. And so for my this email I have this password. Okay, let's go back here, and it's reloading. First let's refresh our page, then my email ID, then password. Let's submit. But we are not logged in. Let me check what the
Okay, so let's get started with this section in which we'll be creating Okay, so let's get started with this section in which we'll be creating
a logout page from where you can log out from your profile or from your account. So I guess this is it. Let me explain you what we are doing here. We are including this session, and then we are simply destroying this session and heading towards our login page. So when you are into your profile or logged in into your account, when you press this logout button, or when you call for this PHP page, then what will happen is it will go to your session.php and then update and then destroy this session. Now this is the table, this is the connection, and then session started and the session is destroyed. Okay, so actually this is it, and let me save this file, go back to our browser, refresh it, login. This will open up our profile page. Here we go, then log out, and we are logged out.
Okay, so let's get started with this section in which we'll be creating
a online page which will show that how many of your friends or user are online. So let me first show you or explain you what is the concept behind this online system. So guys, you must remember that we have created this table here, the sample website database table, and we have also created this online column here, but we haven't used it yet. So now we are going to use it to create our online page. So what will happen is, when the user is logged in, or he or she has entered his correct email and password, then the online value will become 1, and whenever he or she logged out or request to be logged out, then this value will again become 0. So now what we can do is, we can provide a condition that whenever the value of online is 0, then the user is offline, and whenever the value of online is 1, then the user is online. So we just have to make a few changes in our logout and login path so that we can update our table. So let's create that, or let's write that. Now the first change is going to be in our session file. So first let's track the path for the login system. So this is your login page, and here we have the form here. Now if you enter the right information or the right email and password, then it is redirected to your login back, from where it's redirected to your profile PHP. But before profile PHP file, it has visited the session.php. So we are gonna make some changes in our session.php, or we are gonna update the online counter to the online column to be 1 for that specific email or that specific row whenever the user is trying to log in. So I have already copied it, so I'll paste. So we have a new variable here, new value is equal to 1. Now this is also a variable, online put MySQL query, update the sign up. This should not be sign up, this should be a sample website. So update the table and set online is equal to new value of 1, where email is equal to user check, or the email is that email which has just logged in. So okay, so now the login is uh, altered. Let's see if this is working. We'll be moving step by step so that it's not in one flow and you all get confused. So first let me reload this file. Harshit Roy. Yeah, that's my name. Okay, so we are logged in. Let me refresh the table, and there we go. We have updated our online counter here. So this is updated. Now we have to uh, make this value back to 0 when we are logged out. So now I have to add back the lines which I have just deleted or removed. Now the new value here is 0 because we want to change it back to offline. Now the online put is equal to my query. Update the should be again the sample website. Sample website. Set online is equal to new value or 0, where email is equal to the user email which has just logged in. Now online dot check. Okay, so this should again be a sample website. Sample website. Okay, now here we are selecting the user where the value is 1. So let's save this also, and refresh this page. Okay, the logout. Now let's check our database or our table here. So this is working fine. Now we have to create a online page, online.php. There we go. And then a few lines of PHP so that we can access the backend database and extract the value from there. So we have the h1 title. Now if we want to use any of the HTML tag within a PHP tags here, like we have this PHP starting and ending tag, and we have these HTML center and h1 tag here. So if you want to use them, you can use what you have to do is you have to place them in inverted commas, single inverted commas actually. So here we have first of all the heading, the online users, in the h1 the bold letters, and then we are establishing the connection here. It should be sample website, right? First name from sample website. So what we're here we are doing is we are establishing the connection to our database sample website, and then we are just selecting the first name from the sample website where online is equal to 1, or we are selecting the first name from our database of which the users are online, and we have this value 1 which we have created in, which we have edited in our login.php. now this is stored in a variable, and then we are fetching it back, and then we are echoing or we are printing. Now this should not be index.php. Actually we don't need it here. This was for the purpose of if we want to chat with that person, we just provide the link for the chat table, but this is not for this video. This video was just about showing that how many users are online, and I guess this is it. Let me save this one and go back to my web page, reload this, try, and this is my password. If I go to online, I can see only I am online, and yeah, only I am online. And here you can see, if I refresh this table, then only online column is 1 only for me. Now let me sign in from another user. Then here you can see, so the online counter or the online page is working perfectly. Now this is not for those very big websites, obviously this is for a small projects or the small websites where you want to use a simple online system. So this is it. This was just for the concept building. Okay, so by this I'm gonna conclude this session, and I'm gonna invite you to my other projects like 2D game with Python, website blocker with Python, a keylogger with Python, and a desktop application with Python. So I'll meet you there. Bye bye.